In this chapter, we will show you discoveries that should never have seen the light of day. Number 1. Panda in the tomb. After the death of an emperor who lived 2,200 years ago, the remains of a giant panda were discovered near his refuge. At that time, scientists did not even suspect that these animals could have lived in China during the reign of the emperor. Many other creatures were also found near the tomb, from powerful tigers to peacocks and monkeys. Unfortunately, many of them are now threatened. Number 2. New ecosystem at the bottom of the ocean. With the help of an underwater robot, a team of scientists from around the world discovered an impressive ecosystem and volcanic cavities beneath the ocean floor. Among what we once thought could not be light, dark waters and hot springs, scientists have discovered a world made possible by colorful worms, crustaceans, and even bacteria that feed on minerals instead of sunlight. The most interesting thing is that some of these creatures, such as the giant Riftia pachyptila worms, travel along the seabed, discovering new corners of their underwater home. However, scientists warn that our curiosity and desire for prey can threaten this unique world. It is important that we respect the mysterious creatures that live in the depths of the ocean. Number 3. Vampires in Poland. 17th century remains of a boy with a triangular anti-vampire lock on his leg were found at an archaeological site in Poland. Scientists believe that locals feared that this child could come to life as a vampire. In the Middle Ages in Europe, many believed in vampires and used various methods to keep the dead in the grave. The boy was only a few years old when the deceased was buried face down, as if his actions aroused fear even after death, according to the beliefs of the Middle Ages. Such burials made the sick bite the ground and pose no threat to people. Also found nearby were a group of skeletons of other children and fragments of copper objects, which were probably placed in the mouth of the deceased. Number 4. Egypt, an unusual cemetery in the ancient city on the banks of the Nile. Egypt is rewriting history. Archaeologists in Egypt found something absolutely amazing in the ancient city on the banks of the Nile, which was the cultural center of Egypt before the pyramids. An unusual cemetery was discovered. A certain doctor and her team were expecting ordinary excavations, but what they found left them amazed. Along with graves containing human remains, they discovered remains of baboons, wild cats, and even hippos. It was extraordinary because these animals are not usually found in Egypt. The most surprising thing is that, according to scientists, all of these animals were well cared for, fed, and even remained in captivity for a long time. These creatures were symbols of power and a demonstration of wealth and control over wildlife. This is one of the most surprising discoveries in Egypt. Number 5. Cleopatra, the last ruler of ancient Egypt, is often portrayed as a captivating Egyptian queen, but her lineage has Macedonian Greek roots, linking it to Ptolemy, a general in the ranks of Alexander the Great. Although her ancestry is not Egyptian, Cleopatra stands out for embracing Egyptian culture, even delving into learning the language. Her ability to merge her Greek heritage with Egyptian traditions adds complexity to her historical figure, highlighting how she navigated cultural boundaries. Cleopatra thus becomes a fascinating example of multifaceted cultural identity in history, leaving an indelible mark on the historical panorama. Number 6. There is a widespread misconception about the height of Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French emperor. Many believe that he was short, around 5 feet 2 inches, but this idea is based on a misunderstanding. The confusion arose because the measurement was originally recorded in French feet, which turned out to be longer than English feet. When converted to the English system, Napoleon's true height was around 5 feet 7 inches, actually above the average height of men in France in his time. The misinterpretation was further complicated by British cartoons that exaggerated his short stature, perpetuating the misconception. This common misconception about Napoleon's height highlights how prejudices and errors can become embedded in our historical narratives, underscoring the importance of questioning popular beliefs and delving into historical accounts to uncover the truth behind seemingly trivial details. Number 7. The Bowl of Gold. In 1958, archaeologists in northwestern Iran discovered a shattered bowl of gold in the charred remains of an ancient fortress called Harts or Khizar-Anshan. This Iron Age fortress was near present-day Panur. The bowl was more than 3,000 years old and belonged to the royal domains of Urartu, an Iron Age kingdom in Armenia. The bowl was decorated with images of warriors, chariots, and mythological figures made of solid gold. Although very valuable in its time, it was found damaged among the ruins of Harts. Experts believe that around 800 BC, Harts was attacked by enemies who invaded the citadel during the chaos of the invasion. 3 soldiers attempted to take the golden bowl, but were trapped under the rubble as the citadel was destroyed by fire. His outstretched hands held the shattered remains of the bowl. These soldiers were not heroes, but looters who risked their lives for material gain and lost both their lives and treasure. This shattered bowl is a reminder of the dangers of looting and greed in times of war, and how it often leads to significant human and material losses. Number 8. Hidden rooms of the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal in Agra, India, is famous for its beautiful Islamic architecture and romantic history, as it was built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the 15th century in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. The legends about hidden chambers in the Taj Mahal and the mystery behind them are fascinating topics. Some of these legends suggest that the Taj Mahal could have been built on top of an ancient Hindu temple dedicated to Shiva, and the sealed chambers could contain evidence of this theory. Other legends speak of the possibility that Emperor Shah Jahan planned to use the Taj Mahal as his own mausoleum, and the lower chambers could have been designed to bury royalty. It is true that underground scans were carried out that confirmed the presence of a chamber behind the walls on the lower level of the Taj Mahal. However, due to the risk of damaging the historic building, these chambers remain closed to the public and their contents and purpose remain a mystery. The Taj Mahal is an impressive monument with a rich history and many associated stories and mysteries. The legends and mysteries surrounding this iconic building only add to its aura of wonder and awe. As for the hanging pillar at the Lapakshi Temple, it is a striking example of the skill and architectural knowledge of ancient Indian builders. The illusion of the pillar floating in the air without any visible support is an astonishing achievement. This pillar has endured for more than 4 centuries and remains a testament to the ingenuity and technical skill of those who designed and built it. These monuments remind us of the rich architectural and cultural heritage of India. Number 9. Canopic glasses. The mummification process of the Egyptians consisted of the extraction of the main organs and then carrying out a separate mummification process. Later, they were kept in special containers that were placed next to the mummy. We are referring to the canopic jars, a constant throughout the history of Egypt, and today they are a valuable source of information for archaeologists. They were usually closed with a flat slab since the discovery of the process, but at the beginning of the New Kingdom, the plug took the shape of the head of the deceased and of various animals. Centuries later, the head of these different vases protected the organ they contained. Additionally, it had representations of different deities. For example, Hapi had a human head and kept the liver, Imsiti had a lid in the shape of a baboon's head and kept the lungs, Duamutef with a jackal-shaped lid contained the stomach. The containers were protected in a tomb by a titular goddess such as Isis, Nephthys, Selkis and Nephthys, and had to be oriented towards one of the cardinal points, as required by the ritual. In this ancient culture there was a belief that if they were not kept well, the deceased would not revive in the afterlife.